Um, we have to kind of get through a few things. Hey, girlfriend's in the back there. Try to get her to stay up here, but wouldn't do it. Okay, so here's our plan. Okay, and those of you who are watching online, okay, I'm gonna send this to you, okay, via the emails, and then you can fill this out. I will be taking credit on for this. So today, everybody who's here, who's filling this in, will get credit for that. So it'll be a participation thing. If you're not filling it out, then there you go. Okay, so just a quick little reminder where we're at. First of all, most of you did a pretty good job turning in your lab report. Okay, so if you did not turn this in, I'm not going to grade this for at least another couple days here. So I want to give you a chance in case you're a little bit behind. But here's the people that I have it for. Here's the people that I don't. I only have 8 turned in. So the following people have not turned it in. Okay, here you go with your names. Okay, so I can say it out loud if you want. So Sam, Sladen, Chelsea, Steven, Daniela, Jack, Lincoln, Peyton, Kaylee, Haley, Zach, Trace, Lauren, Evan, Claire, Anthony, Myra, and Vanessa. Okay, remember you made it. Hey, you gotta go back. Sorry, man. Okay, you got to turn in that thing. So you made a copy. So unfortunately, you're going to have to go to that assignment and upload that thing. I hated having to do. What's that? That's the ones that are missing. I don't have yours. Yes. Can we what? eBird. Sure, we could look at eBird real quick. So please, please, please. So I'm begging you, those of you who are at home. Okay. Yesterday we went through how to make a graph. You have to watch that video to see how to make a graph. Then you're going to upload that graph. So if you watch that video, you can upload this. I will be taking points. I'm going to make it worth quite a bit of points. I think I'm going to go for like 40 points on this one. So if you don't turn in, that's going to be really, really low. All right. There was a request to check on the Junco. By the way, I have spotted only one bird so far with our trail cam. And that is unfortunately not the Junco. It is the house sparrow, which is kind of a bummer, but oh well, at least we're getting something. All right, I will tell you that it's ironic that this just popped up because just this last week, the evening grosbeak has been making some news in Indiana. We don't typically see this bird. I've never seen it in my life. And it popped up in Blackford County over the weekend and in Marshall County. So Marshall County here's the state of Indiana. Marshall County is right up here. So if you guys know where Plymouth is, that's in Marshall County. Blackford County is over here, okay, which is where I grew up in Hartford City. Notice there's a direct line through Wabash County from Marshall, okay, to Blackford. Keep your eyes peeled for this bird. It looks like a goldfinch, but much more vibrant, much more beautiful and bigger. It's more of like it'd be more of like the size of a rose-breasted grosbeak, which you guys that wasn't on our list. But let's look real quickly. We'll just see if there's more people. Spotty's probably that stupid Chad Fitzpatrick. I bet he's probably seen a few more. I need to talk to that kid actually. So dark-eyed Junco. Here we go. We'll go with current. So now we're November. So November to November. So this will isolate my data and not give any of those Octobers. Remember, October 12th was the first day we saw the Junco. Look at that. It's everywhere. Wow. That is amazing. That is amazing. Okay. And it is, wow. Whoa. I did not expect that to look that way. Remember, folks, like it was not very southern. Okay. We do see it here in, let's see if we can find some hot spots. Well, it doesn't look like Chad has spotted it anytime recently. In November. Okay. But look, it's in Huntington. Here's one, Mississinawa. That was just the other day. Miami State rec area. up here near Sydney. John Kindle, I know that guy. I'm actually in a meeting tonight with this guy, John Kindle, and also Chad Fitzpatrick. So I'll say something, okay, about that to those guys. Whoa, Matrix, man, Matrix. Okay, so once again, okay, I will two more people turn that in, so that's fantastic. All right, so we've been looking at the pH, right? We've been looking at stuff. Okay, we're starting to get into cellular stuff. Okay, and I'm going to go through some information that it doesn't sound like it. Like, why are we talking about this? I don't like this stuff. Okay, I found this little thing, and again, I'm going to walk around, make sure you're kind of sticking with me. I'm going to give you participation credit. If you're watching this at home, you have to upload this. I will send this to you, and you'll have to use Cami to write out all of this material. Okay, so if you don't know how to do that, well, then you haven't been in a math class yet, because the math teachers love the Cami, right? Am I right? Or am I right? Okay, pretty much everybody knows how to do it. Okay, not today. Okay, all right, put your Chromebooks down. We're going to go with this.
Hey, I gotta be on my math test.
First. The best test I've ever gotten was
Throw me 10
an actual A.
Put that away.
What's those numbers?
Okay.
What's what?
Pencil.
Oh, did you notice those were new?
Yes.
I'm very
Throw me a
excited.
pencil. Real pencil.
Like a whistle or what? You work on these with partners or no? Tony. Wow.
All right, now listen. Sorry, before you get going, Isaac had a great question. He had good observation skills. I just put this in during my SRT today, and he's like, "What are these things?" It's like whistles or something. Okay, I got very excited. Hopefully, this will apply to all of you. I've been wanting these for a really long time, and it's a very important ecological. Here, I'll put this here. A very important ecological tool. Okay, you ready for this? You ready for the big reveal? Yeah, it's a show. Yeah. I'm very excited about these hand trowels. Very excited. They are nice, man. These are nice hand trowels, and Mrs. Mize will be happy because I used to borrow hers, and now I don't have to bother her. She's not here today, is she? Is Mize here today? Does anybody see Mize? She's not here. Okay, great. Okay. All righty, here we go. So I'm going to switch over to this thing, and I will help you with this. I'm going to come around and make sure that you're following me. We won't get through all of this today by any means. Okay, but this is all about macromolecules, and specifically when we talk about things and how they relate to our bodies. Hey, ladies in the back, this might also jostle you're going to have to do this at some point. Eve and Allie are both interested in the medical field. Hey, by the way, just a quick reminder, because I just had this conversation with somebody who's a junior right now, and I said, "What do you want to do with your life?" And they said, "Oh, I think I want to be a nurse." And I was like, "Cool." And I was like, "Look, here's the ultimate question: why are you not taking anatomy right now?" Like, I'm telling you, folks, if you're interested in the medical field, okay, what my discussion about today, and then also taking anatomy. Okay, take that classes. So next year, take chemistry or ICP, then take anatomy. Now I will tell you, it's a lot of memorization. I don't take it easy on you. Okay, we had 130-point test on bones last week. Okay, no word bank. You get a blank sheet of paper. I point to the parts of bones. You have to write them out. Okay, I know. Kimberly, your face is like, I won't take that class up. All right. That's what I saw. All right. Okay. So I know rage. It was just a fit of rage. And I'm just kidding. I don't know what happened. I just pulled it down and it was like,
No, it's rage.
It made me sad. All right. So when you hear the word organic, like these days, most people, well, what do you think of?
You have a pencil?
I sure do. I'll give you one. Anybody else need a writing utensil? Okay. One. Okay. Okay,
but I can't
okay, cool.
tell you
Hold on.
what we
Okay,
talk
what's
about.
the thing?
What do you think organic is?
Yeah.
Fake.
Natural.
Like organic food or organic?
It's
Oh, yeah.
natural.
That's what everybody thinks of, right? Like instantly right now, everybody's like, oh, organic food, like that's the healthy food, or like that's the really expensive food. You know? That's the food that liberals eat, right?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Okay,
Throw it at me,
so-
I can catch.
so, all right. Okay, that's not what organic is. Organic food, we'll talk about that later. Okay, and we'll talk about a lot more if you take AP Environmental Science. Okay, but when we talk about organic, it's all about one very, 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 very important element, and that is carbon. Okay,
Wow.
so organic automatically means carbon. Now, when I look at this thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a chunk of carbon right here, man. Okay, this rock, I'm gonna burn it. I'm gonna create electricity. Okay, and you're like, wait a second, burn dog. Okay, what's up with this? This is not a living thing, right? Remember, this was once alive. That's why we call it a fossil fuel. Okay, so the way I've set the stuff up, and by I mean not me, okay, is that this presentation has the answers, but it's not just like filling it in, okay? I'm going to help you, okay, but kind of read along with me. So we're number one, station number one, okay? The reason why these are stations here, because typically if we were in the COVID situation, I didn't have any online learners, okay, we would like go around the room and whatever. We're just doing it like this now. Okay, so number one says organic molecules contain blank dash blank bonds. I want you to write carbon, hydrogen. That's in that first blank top left where it says station one. And then it says all blank are made of organic compounds. Okay, what would you put there? All living things, right? So that you can see that answer right over here. Okay, so right now everybody's writing down those two things, the carbon hydrogen bond, okay, and then living things. Okay, great. Now let's see if you can get that last answer there. How many bonds does that make? Four, right? Okay, so this is where I write it right there. Okay, so carbon, hydrogen bonds, all living things up to 4 bonds. Good. Okay. Again, you with me, need writing utensil? You got one. Fantastic. Good. Excellent. All right. Okay, so the other things that it bonds with, hydrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, sulfur, nitrogen, we'll look at that in just a minute. Okay, but that's organic compounds. Okay, so what's the recipe? Okay, what else makes the recipe for life? Okay, carbon is the essential thing. When you hear organic, I don't want you to instantly think food. I want you to think living. Okay, living things. We are a carbon creature. Okay, but what about the other things? Here you go. SPONCH. That's sulfur, phosphorus, oxygen, nitrogen, carbon, and then hydrogen. That also makes up all those living things. I like sponge. Okay, sounds like something like a frat dude, right? Like, oh man, did you hear what Sponge did this weekend? Like, Sponge, man, he got crazy. He like jumped off the building, okay, right into the quad, and then went like totally nuts. He went after like a cop car. Cops chased Sponge, man. But guess what? Sponge survived. Sponge. Sorry, this is how my brain works. Okay. Okay. So yeah, I like Sponge. I'm gonna use it. I've never used it before this year, but Sponge is gonna come back. You're gonna meet Sponge someday. Okay. Who is he? He's like, he does a sloppy swish. You guys know the sloppy swish?
No.
Nobody in here?
Show me.
Sponge knows the sloppy swish. I'll show you later. Okay, so here you go. You got to write down sulfur by the S, phosphorus by the P, oxygen by the O, nitrogen by the N, carbon by the C, hydrogen by the H, okay? And then notice there's a little blank off to the right. It says these 6 elements may combine to form an organic compound. However, organic compounds must always contain carbon. Okay, right? Phosphorus. It can't. You know, like we need phosphorus. Why do I eat food, folks?
So open
Open
door.
doors, right? These ladies in the back would know the answer to that, right? Okay, I should have quizzed you first. Okay, the reason why I need to open doors is because I can't do anything without opening doors. What helps me open these doors? ATP. What's ATP? Adenosine triphosphate, right? Okay, remember phosphate comes from rocks because it rocks. Okay, who had a question? Jake? Station one. 4, baby. 4 bonds. 4 bonds. Okay, that's because of the structure. All right. Now, here, this is huge. Okay, I'm gonna talk about these 4 things like no other. Okay, so these organic compounds, the carbon ones, okay, are divided up into 4 biggies. Okay, the first one's carbohydrates. Now, have you ever heard someone say like, "Oh, I'm going on a low carb diet"? Okay. And people are like, "Oh yeah, what are you gonna eat?" Like, well, I can't eat breads, you know, no pasta, no potatoes, that kind of thing. But essentially, carbohydrates are not just like when you hear carbs, like people just have this mystery about it. Like it's got to be bread or it's got to be pasta or it's got to be like something heavy like that. Peas, guess what? Peas have carbs in them too. Carbs, folks, are sugars. That's it. Okay, all sugars. So when we're talking about sugars, okay, we're talking about carbs. Now, number 2, lipids. Okay, lipids, that sounds bad, right? Well, I don't, ooh, hot, what kind of, what's the, if this is sugars, then what's lipids? Anybody know?
Fat.
Fat, oh my gosh, did you know that or did you look it
No,
up?
I just guessed.
You really did?
Yeah.
You're a genius because you're exactly right. Now everybody's like, "Oh, fat's bad, right? Okay, I don't want to be fat, or I don't want to be like, I don't want to have too much fat. If we don't have fats in our diet, we're dead. Okay? We need fat, right? Just not fat. Nucleic acids are in DNA. Without our DNA, we can't make proteins. And we'll talk about that whole process, okay?
That gives you the gains, my dude.
It does give you the gains, man. Try to get by. No, wait. Try to get by. You get trapped and dealt with.
Oh,
You get that?
okay.
Yeah, there you go. All right, let's go to this next one. Okay, so this is ironically, a few years ago, we had a pretty big test in our area, and they used this analogy. Okay, and I thought it was cheesy at the time, and then this popped up and it made me chuckle. Okay, mono, like when have you ever heard someone go like, okay, you, me, mono y mano, punk, you going down?
No.
No? Never heard that? Like in a movie or something? Yeah, thank you. I don't know. It's probably some dumb 80s thing, right? You know, I don't know. Maybe not. Mono and mono, what's that mean? Just you and me. No, you can't bring your bros out to help you. Okay. Nobody, you can they can watch, but just you and me. Mono, 1-on-1, right? So mono is 1, poly is many. Okay, so here's the thing about this. These compounds, and it doesn't matter if I'm talking about sugars or if I'm talking about lipids, okay, we can have a single unit, okay, or we can have lots of those units, but those polymers are made up of monomers, okay? So one thing or lots of these things make up a polymer. Okay, here's the analogy that they said, a brick house is the polymer. What are the monomers? That's the building blocks, that's the bricks, okay? So here's the house, okay? That's the polymer, but there's lots of bricks that make that up. Okay, so once again, we're down on station 4. You can see me on the bottom left. Monomer, you write the word 1. Poly, you write the word many. Below that, you write the word bricks. Okay, and then off to the right, monomers are a single unit. Okay, the next blank, polymers are made up of monomers. Okay, I want to come around and make sure you get these. Okay, we're gonna, oh yeah, good job, good job.
It's the building brick.
Get
Or
there.
building blocks.
Yes, good job.
It's each individual block.
Huh? Good. Made up of, that's monomers.
Why is there no switch?
This, bricks. Or building blocks, use it.
Use the bricks.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, you can just put bricks right there. Okay,
Yeah, go on, dude.
Hey, but bricks, that's what I'm shooting for.
Stay in the lane, though. Ciao. What does this kid want?
Okay, all right, now,
My hair is just
Okay,
beautiful.
so we're building up here. We're gonna get to know all these little things here. So let's talk about carbs themselves. Okay, I don't think this is too hard of a concept, but if you take anatomy, I'll tell you that you will learn a lot of like prefixes and suffixes. Like, let's take, for example, we just finished our unit on bones. Okay, and bone cells are called osteocytes. Osteo means bone, cyte means cell. Okay, there's chondrocytes. Chondro means cartilage, cyte means cell. There's also these things called osteoblasts and chondroblasts. Okay, when we look at organic compounds, okay, the carbohydrate, so that means carbon, hydrogen, and ate is a suffix used to describe oxygen atoms. Okay, now here's the real weird thing though. Okay, when we look at a carbohydrate, for it to really be a carbohydrate, we've got to be in this 1 to 2 to 1 ratio. Okay, I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so right up there at the top, it says, okay, a carbohydrate is a type of organic molecule that contains carbon, comma, you write hydrogen, you write oxygen, okay, you write 1, 2, 1, okay. If you want to just put ATE equals oxygen in that next line, that'd be great. If you want to write all that stuff, you can, you don't have to, okay? But here's the tough one. Okay, I'm not going to tell you the answer first. You have 4 things at the bottom: C4H10O4, C5H10O5, C9H18O9, and then C6H12O9.
I know it.
Okay, there are only 2 that are truly carbohydrates. Which 2 are they? Don't say it out loud yet. I'll let everybody choose and see if you can get it. Okay, the hint is there in the middle of the screen to help you out with that. But which 2 is it, Isaac? You're waiting so patiently. Tell me which 2 it is.
No, I don't.
Okay, now you don't. Does
But
anybody got it?
I think
Okay, Sloan, what do you think?
C5H10O5.
Yep.
And C9H18O9.
Bringo. That's it. The 2 middle ones. Okay, why is that? Because 5 plus 5 is 10, right?
Exactly.
5,
That's what I was
10,
looking
5.
I got the
Okay,
same
what's
one.
9 plus 9? 9, 18, 9. Are y'all with me on that? Okay, so the 2 middle ones need to be circled, okay, to let me know that those are the carbohydrates, right? Those are the specific ones. All right. Okay, so when we look at carbohydrates, and we're not getting into hardcore chemistry here, okay, but next year you will, okay? They've got to contain 1 carbohydrate atom for every 2, okay, and 1 oxygen. And this is the most famous one, C6H12O6. Can anyone tell me which one is C6H12O6? Does anyone know the name of that particular carbohydrate? It's the famous one. It's the one that helps break down to make energy to open doors. It starts with a G. Glucose. I thought I heard someone say that. Good job, Janessa. Okay, glucose. All right, so here we go. There's glucose, sucrose, fructose, maltose, ribose, dextrose, lactose. Okay, OSC. Okay, if you see OSE, okay, right? So this is station 6. We're on the bottom left. Carbohydrates are sugars. Okay, OSE. I don't know why. I do remember my high school biology teacher told us this. I don't know why it stuck with me. I never forgot it. Now, you may have heard of some of these. I hope you've heard of glucose. You've probably heard of fructose because of sugars that are in fruit. Maybe someone in here is lactose intolerant. Anybody lactose intolerant in here? I had a student. Her name is Mackenzie Coulter Kern. Okay. Peyton today, Peyton Baker goes, is she dead? I go, no, she's a professor at IU now. And anyway, she went on the Everglades trip with me, and she's incredibly lactose intolerant. She has to take a pill to help process milk products in her body. We had gone that night to get Papa John's pizza. She ate practically a whole pizza. Then afterwards got a milkshake at a place called Robert is Here. Then after that, we went to Walmart. Okay. And we're standing in line, and there was a lady in front of me. Here I am. Mackenzie was a couple people back. All of a sudden, it hits me. I turn around and I could just see like Mackenzie's like, sorry. Then the lady in front of me starts choking. I thought she was going to puke. It was literally, without a doubt, the worst smelling fart of my life. I have never smelled anything. I thought for sure, when I looked at Mackenzie, I was like, are you okay? She was, I forgot to take my pill. I was like, I thought for sure a Burmese python had crawled up inside of her, died, and then that smell that had come out of her was the rotten, I mean, it was bad. Okay. So if you're lactose intolerant, you know, but nobody in here is, it was, I can still smell it if I think about it. I'd say it to her face right now if she was there too. Okay. All right. So here we go. We got monosaccharides, we got polysaccharides. So we're on still the first page. We're off to the right. Okay. Monomers are single units. Okay. So this, you would write monosaccharide in that first blank. In the second blank, you would write polysaccharide. Now, let's see if you can figure out what two of them are called. This is a little bit tougher, but a saccharide is just a term to describe sugars and starches. So mono is one sugar. This five-sided thing is a sugar. That's a monosaccharide. Polysaccharides are more. What do you think one sugar, or sorry, two sugars would be? Now, somebody in first period got this, and I was pretty impressed. Nice guess. Bisaccharide. It's not a bisaccharide.
Trisaccharide.
Tri would be three.
Quadsaccharide.
Okay, what's another?
Dose.
Dose. It does start with a D. Disaccharide, right?
Hey.
Okay, so in that third right, don't put mono, put disaccharide. So the first blank is monosaccharide, the second one is polysaccharide, and the third one is disaccharide. Okay? DI. So just replace the mono here and put DI, not like DIE, like die. Okay, DI and then saccharide. Okay? So there it is. Oh, I forgot I had a slide. The prefix is DI. Okay, carbohydrates come in the form of two-link monomers, giving them a special term called disaccharide. There it is. Yep. Mono in the first blank, polysaccharide in the second one, and then disaccharide in the third. Okay, we're gonna do one more, and then we'll quit. Yeah. Where are you at?
7.
Jack.
Yeah.
You got it. Okay, Jack.
Disaccharide is mono, saccharide, polysaccharide.
I have.
Disaccharide. So when I was, I used to coach cross country. I used to coach cross country here, and it was good times. And then I was kind of in the game for a long time. And anyway, I went and I did a lot of those mini marathons in Indianapolis. Any runners in here? Anybody do a mini marathon? So 13.1 miles rather than the 26.2, which I've never done a marathon, but I did like 6 or 7 minis, and they were super fun. The night, yeah, maybe. So the night before the mini marathons, we'd always go. There'd be a bunch of us that would go down, and we would carb load up at Fazoli's. Fazoli's is great because you have the never-ending breadsticks, right? And so I don't know who this is, but I'm muting you. Sorry. Thanks. Forget about it. Okay. So why carb load? Because it's high energy, right? So I was eating pasta. I ate like a ton of breadsticks, and that was to give me energy for that next day. Okay, so those high energy bonds are really important, but we find them in things like rice, potatoes, corn. Okay, so if you're on a low carb diet, right, you're not eating these things. Okay, so let's look. Number one, it says sugars contain high energy would be the blank there. Okay, that provide energy for our bodies when consumed. The largest of these are polysaccharides, such as starch, which is present in plants such as rice, potatoes, and corn. Okay, yep, so it would go polysaccharides such as starch, which are present in plants such as rice, potatoes, corn, etc. So that's the energy. We break those bonds, we're going to have a lot of great energy. Okay, notice the key here is that we're finding them in plants. What is it about plants that make this so nutritious? Well, it's in their cells, and they have something called cellulose. If you look at this word, you'll know that's a sugar. Why do you know cellulose is a sugar? OSC, Bringo, good job. Okay, it helps maintain its shape and structure. Okay, so when we talk later about this guy right here, okay, this guy's the cell. Okay, you already looked at it. This doesn't have a cell wall, right? This has a cell membrane. Okay, this is a little bit different. Okay, and when you talk about eating plants, you may have heard someone say there's a lot of like roughage. Okay, I don't know if this is gonna sound really gross. Okay, but I like to get lettuce, like not iceberg lettuce, but lettuce like we have, like grown from a garden. Okay, Fingerly's, River Ridge out there, farm, or Hawkins Run. I like that kind of this red lettuce mix. And there'll be some times where I will actually find leaves of lettuce in my poop floating because my digestive system hasn't, because there's so much fiber in that. It's so tough, right? Nobody's, am I like, oh, you're all looking at me like I'm the only guy. Nobody has ever found lettuce in their poop before. Like, I mean, I'm talking like on the floating on the top, not like in a loaf, right? Nobody. Oh, this is disappointing. I guess it's only me. Okay, but there you go.
I think you should go to the doctor.
Yeah, maybe I should. It's always followed by a lot of blood, which I hear is not normal.
Hey.
I'm just kidding. All right, so cellulose is a type of fiber. So number 2 says cellulose is a type of polysaccharide found within the cell wall of plants, which maintains the cell shape and structure. It's a type of fiber. Everybody get that? Okay. Cell wall of plants. First blank is cellulose. Second blank is fiber. Okay, and then, or sorry, first is cellulose, second cell wall, third is fiber. Let's end with this one today. Okay, here we go. So the functions, we can also find it other places too. Fungi have something called chitin. Now remember, Sam, remember when you found those shells of the cicada outside? That exoskeleton there that was left, that's got a lot of chitin in it. And in fact, there are some people that believe that the future of food is eating insects. And we used to do this back in the day. I haven't done it for a really long time, but we would cook mealworms up and eat them. I don't know if you've ever had a mealworm.
When I went to, actually this March in Nevada.
Oh yeah?
There was some sort of beetle. My dad was like, eat it.
Did you do it?
I tried it,
Was it gross?
yeah. It just didn't taste like it.
Oh man.
It's just crunchy.
There's a company called, oh man, I'm blanking on the name, but they have taken insects, they've ground them into a powder. It's a high protein powder. And yeah, and it gains, baby, gains. I might have some. I'll bring some in. If I
You
still have
should, we'll
some.
take it. I'll
It's
try it.
not too bad. It's not too bad. But it's like crickets. You can eat crickets. You can eat grasshoppers. Some insects do have toxins in them. I tried a water bug once. Somebody dared me to put a water bug in my mouth, and I bit it. It was gross. I had to spit it out, and I thought I was going to die. But it was fun. It was fun. So the first blank was chitin. The second was polysaccharide, cell wall of fungi, and exoskeleton. All right. So there you go. We are going to, I'm going to stop that right now. Okay. I would like for you to